You hear that bird singing? You know what he's singing about? He's singing about the Springfield Armory XD-40 in 40 Smith & Wesson 4-inch barrel. This is a pretty sweet little shooter. Hey, just an opinion here with a tailgate gun review. Why am I doing a tailgate gun review? Well, because I'm out at my favorite place, the range, and I just brought my other favorite thing, a new gun, along with me. Just picked it up at my FFL. I won it actually at the IDPA Maryland State Championship match. It was not only a great match to shoot over in Maryland, a whole lot of fun, and had a good time, and was fairly pleased with my performance, but to make the day even better, I won a gun. So winning a gun is always a good thing, right? And here it is. I have not even taken a look at it yet, and you can see the only bad thing about this gun is that you can see, because of where I was when I won it, Maryland and New York compliant, and yeah, you know what that means. Very low magazine capacity. So like I said, I literally just picked this gun up from my FFL, and I have not unboxed it yet at all, or even opened it to take a look at it. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to move this camera so you can look over my shoulder, and let's take a quick look at the unboxing. And then I just happen to have some ammo with me, and I think we might have to do a little shooting too. Okay folks, here we go. Springfield Armory. This is an XD 4-inch in 40 Smith & Wesson. So at first glance, and this is my first XD. I own some other Springfield Armory guns, but I do not own an XD, so this is my first. So interested and curious. So it comes with the magazine pouch, comes with a magazine loader, and it comes with a holster, which is good. This is a belt holster rather than the paddle holster that come with a lot of the other Springfield Armory guns. Paperwork. And here we go. We have another thin layer of foam. And there's our gun. So we have our lock, of course. We have two low capacity 10-round magazines. Could be worse, actually, especially considering New York is now 7, right? But at least we have two 10-round magazines, and here is the pistol. You can see that's going to want to blow away. All right. So here's the pistol. Springfield Armory XD-40. 40 Smith & Wesson is the caliber, 4 inches is the barrel length. A little different, the XD is the older model, so it's got the older style grip, it's got the older style stippling. It's much more smooth on the sides. The new ones have a much more aggressive and knurled style finish. This does have that type of checkered finish on the front strap and back strap, but it's still not quite as large in size, the squares, nor is it as pronounced. It's not as deep as it is on the XD-M, XD-S that you may be more familiar with. This is a relatively old model, this gun. Been around for a while. It's fairly well proven in terms of, you know, being a duty gun, and that's really the purpose of this gun. It's got a set of fixed sights, 3-dot combat style sights. They're not night sights. You don't have the front fiber optic sight that you get when you buy the XD-Ms or the XD-S line of pistols. Again, this is more of a traditional style duty weapon. First feel, and it literally is my first feel. I don't believe, I've shot the XD compacts and the XD-M I own, the XD-S I own, but this is my first XD, and I think it might be the first one I've ever really gripped. So interesting. I I like the feel of it. It's got a nice feel at first. You know, my first impression of it is that it's got a nice feeling grip. It's a decent sized grip. I have relatively small hands. We have an ambidextrous magazine release. We of course have right hand only controls for the slide stop. This is our takedown lever. Let's take a look. Inside, got a nice well-polished feed ramp. That's kind of a signature thing for Springfield Armory. Looks like it's fairly well lubed. Before I shoot it, I am going to pop this slide off just to take a look. Maybe throw a little slick 2000 grease on there. But it looks like it's pretty well lubed. Let's go ahead and pop that slide off now. And yeah, I'm going to want to, well, it's got quite a bit of good oil in there, so I think we're good to go to shoot. Well lubricated, probably over lubricated for my likings. I don't like any lube around the action, but it looks like we've got a little bit in there. Be a little extra cleaning. Dual recoil spring and guide rod assembly. A little different than what the traditional thin plate at the back. We've got a little more beef there. Nothing we didn't expect to see here. We do have the loaded chamber indicator here at the top, so when you have a chamber round chambered, that's going to lift up like this, and it will show you that it's loaded. I'm not a huge fan of the loaded chamber indicators because, you know, I've ranted before about not wanting to rely on that, but you know, it's certainly an okay thing to have. And what I do like about these, as opposed to some, is this gives you tactile information. So you could feel this in the dark and know that you've got a chamber or a round chambered because you'll be able to feel that protrusion. So if you're going to have a loaded chamber indicator, you might as well have it be tactile as well as just visual to be really meaningful. Okay, now, look good. Again, nothing out of the ordinary. Pretty standard fare here. And we are ready to go. Probably, like I said, the grip feels comfortable to me. We do have our grip safety. We also have our trigger safety, and internally there is a drop safety. So there are several safety devices. There is no tertiary manual control for a safety. So there is no engage, disengage safety. These are all what I would consider automatic safeties. You have your grip safety. You don't have to do anything special except put a proper grip on the pistol. You have your trigger safety. You don't have to do anything special except pull the trigger to engage that. Again, ambidextrous magazine release. Mag release seems okay. Not what I would call conducive for a speed reload. It's a little tucked in here. It's a little small and requires a little bit of a push, but that, you know, that heavy push is kind of a traditional Springfield Armory thing. All their guns require a little bit of push. The grips, again, I like the comfort, I like the feel, the size, and I think I like the shape. What I'm probably going to almost immediately do is put a set of Talon grips on it to give it some real grip. I'm probably going to go with granulate maybe with this, or rubber, who knows. Maybe I'll order both and make up my mind later. But there she is. There is the Springfield XD 4-inch in 40 Smith & Wesson. And huge thanks to the folks that put on the Maryland State IDPA match for giving me an opportunity to win this gun. Thrilled to have won it, and I am going to be thrilled to shoot it. So let's load this thing up and shoot it a little bit. All right, I've got my eyes and ears on. Today I'm going to be shooting Freedom Munitions 40 caliber ammunition. Freedom Munitions is, if you're a reloader and you're familiar with extreme bullets, Freedom Munitions is an offshoot of Extreme Bullets Company, basically. They decided to start making their own ammo. And I've shot some in 9mm. I haven't really done a review on it because I haven't given it a whole lot of test. My experiences with the 9mm in the Freedom Munitions has been good. So that 10th round goes in tough, as is usual with magazines. So I hope you're having, or by the time this gets posted and you watch it, I hope you had a nice Memorial Day weekend 2014, because it is Memorial Day weekend 2014. As you can see, I'm having, or certainly plan to have, a nice Memorial Day weekend. All right, brand new XD-40, very first shots, 180 grain, flat point, copper jacketed Freedom Munitions ammo. Let's give it a go. Nice. I like the grip. I like the distance to the trigger. I like the reach for the trigger. The trigger feels pretty smooth. Springfields are a little hit or miss for me sometimes as far as how much I like the trigger, but the trigger feels pretty smooth. And I don't know, that was the first 10. Let's try another 10. As far as the target goes, right now I'm not trying to set any world records. I'm at 7 yards and I'm just shooting at a standard IDPA target. And those first 10 were all in the 0 ring, so we're good. Pretty much, going where I'm pointing it. So I'll try and pay more attention. Probably put it in a rest in a little bit and get an idea how it does in terms of accuracy. Nice, nice. Again, I'll have to see over time about the trigger. Springfield triggers are hit or miss with me on their polymer guns. They have a tendency to irritate my finger for some reason a little bit. This one feels like it has the potential to do that, but it hasn't yet, so far so good. I am going to definitely want to put a Talon grip on this thing, like I say, either the rubber or the granulate. It's a little smooth, it's a little slippery. The stippling is not as deep and aggressive as those of us with XDMs and XDSs are used to, but it's a nicely shaped grip. It's a nice sized grip, very comfortable. The gun shoots nice. It shoots pretty flat for a 40. 40 is a snappy round and it shoots pretty nice and flat. Sight acquisition is good. The sight picture is really nice. It's got a good 3-dot sight picture, and it comes back on target really quick. So you know, a lot of that has to do with the grip, and I think that you know, you see you have a nice, really nice curve here in the grip that really puts your hand up in there. Really, you know, it as you tilt your hand this way, what you're doing. Let me put this pistol down. So if you think about holding something this way, you have a lot of this, but when you have a grip that forces your thumb forward and your fingers down, it creates a straight line here, and that straight line is a lot more strength against the recoil of the handgun. So a lot of times, if you find that you really feel that one gun shoots smoother or softer to you in the same caliber, and you know, all else being fairly equal, take a look at that and see if you're not noticing that one grip style is preferable for you. I'll show you the target here in a little bit, but again, that first 20 still in the 0 ring. Of course, I'm only at 7 yards, so I'd probably be pretty ashamed of myself if they weren't, or I would really be questioning the accuracy of the gun, one of the two. Let's go for some headshots with this next magazine and see where we go. Okay, interesting. Good. The accuracy seems nice. At first, it was throwing those first few rounds up at about the 10 to 11 o'clock area compared to where I was holding, but it kind of equaled out a little bit. It may have just been me too, compensating, you know, improving my grip a little bit, thinking a little bit better about my trigger control. Seems like it shoots pretty good point of aim. Pretty much puts impacts where your sights are, at least at this distance. Now, one thing I'm noticing is if you're a thumbs forward shooter, meaning if you typically grip your handgun this way when you shoot, you see where that takedown lever is? Just may have to do with my hand size or my specific grip or whatever, but it kind of puts my forward thumb resting right on the back end of that takedown lever, and you know, during recoil I feel that, so that could be something that starts to bother me after a while, and it could be just a matter of, you know, if that takedown lever was 1/8 of an inch shorter, probably wouldn't do that, but that's something I'm going to have to watch. You know, I may have to try and tuck this thumb back a little bit. Okay, so the first, what did I shoot? 40 rounds? Each mag twice, yeah, 40 rounds. So the first 40 rounds, first 20 rounds went here at the body. And, you know, I was just sort of focused on the general middle, you know, no single spot. And then the next 20 went to the head And you can see that when I first started, I noticed that this is where they were hitting right up in here. These were my first shots. So I kind of adjusted my hold a little. And we really, I mean, I have, you know, a flyer up here, but pretty good group right there in the center. Like I say, with a little bit of an adjusted hold. So I can live with that. I'll put this thing on a rest, put up some paper, and see if we can get some sort of quantifiable measurement. All right, so I've got 5 rounds in each magazine here. I'm going to take some shots at a target. I'm only at 10 yards, so we're certainly not testing any kind of distance accuracy, just a good 10-yard benchmark. And I'm using a rest so that, you know, it's not a vise, but it's just a good rest. I think it's a better than a bag, because this should give me the same, kind of makes it like shooting a rifle, really. Should give me the same sight every time, and that's all I'm looking for. Consistency. Now let's take a look. Okay, back at the tailgate for a quick wrap up. Okay, I just put about 100 rounds through the XD-40, the first 100 rounds, and not a single hiccup, no failures of any kind, no problems of any kind. Shot really well, shot smooth, handles very nice. It's got a nice balance. Some things I immediately like about this pistol, and a couple things that I have questions about. I'm going to have to see how those things turn out for me. But first and foremost, this pistol just has a really nice balance in the hand. Feels very comfortable. The grip is very good. It's a good sized grip for someone with small to medium size hands like myself. I think you'd find that it's got a nice sized grip, gives you good trigger access, good purchase on the trigger, gives you a pretty good high grip. It's got a nice tang for the web of your hand to get up into, and is going to really help to lower that bore axis. A couple things that I'm on the fence about yet are, number one, this takedown lever is a little too long. That's a pretty small thing. The controls, it's a Springfield, it's an XD. It has the controls like all the Springfield XDs of all the different varieties. So no surprises there. Everything is exactly where you'd expect to find it, and works the way you would expect it to. One of the big things for me is the balance. It's got a really nice balance, very nice feel. It's neither front nor back heavy. Obviously it's top heavy because it's polymer frame, but it just feels really nice and balanced. And I found that while shooting, that really helped me to keep the gun flat, keep it back on target. It's just a real natural point. And the sights come up to a real natural sight picture as well. Purposes for this gun probably are many. This is obviously designed as a duty gun, and I think is well suited to be a duty gun. also extremely well suited to be a home defense gun and a personal defense gun. It's a little large on this on the carry side for someone like me, but certainly if you want to carry this gun and you feel you can, would be an excellent choice as a carry gun. Absolutely excellent choice as, you know, the nightstand gun for home defense anywhere in the home. This is an excellent choice for that. So I will have more thoughts later down the road. I will talk more about this gun. We'll bring it out and we'll do a lot more shooting with it over time and take deeper looks at it, maybe compare it with some other pistols. But that's my first look at the Springfield XD-40. Just got it today, just shot it today, and so far I like it.